we are live. So, thank you for putting up with us being late once again, as seems to be our usual habit.
Yeah, that's the norm for us.
So,
Unfortunately. So
yes.
tonight we have a very special guest out of BC, specifically the Vancouver area. Mr. Colin, aka Mechanic. Unfortunately, now, there's got to be a story behind that, so we'll get into that in a few moments. But to start things off, I'd just like to say, obviously, a huge shout out to our two supporters, Tier 1 Armament and our newest one, Armadillo. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, companies, very much. And all of our our watchers, our supporters, thank you guys.
Yes. I like Armadillo.
Yes, we can see that.
and
we've got...
who loves me very much.
Yes, we have your wife is watching. Hi, Banshee. Keach is watching. You are watching. I'm watching. And welcome to Roman.
Yes.
Who also has mechanics on his name. So that'll be interesting.
All right. The mechanic, I guess.
Yeah, the mechanic.
Yeah, sure.
So first off, tell us a bit more about yourself, Colin. What do you do? Obviously, we see the big Blackwatch banner behind you. What is Blackwatch?
Blackwatch. I guess I'll tell you a little bit of the history there. Blackwatch was started probably about 10 years ago in Aldergrove. The guy that owns the field, Dennis Law, he used to have a property in near Cloverdale in BC. And he had a small field there, but when he moved out to Aldergrove, he landed on about 6 acres of playing field. And there was just a few friends that used to gather around there and get together and play paintball. Dennis, his son, and it was all natural. Everything was all natural. They built the odd bunker from, I guess, these plastic white totes that you see sometimes on the fields that holds liquid and whatnot. So they had those to start, and basically it was just friends inviting and friends out to play. And over the years, we were being a private property. It was an invite-only kind of deal where, you know, if you wanted to play there, you had to know somebody and get invited along. 4 years ago, I got invited out to that field. And, you know, there was a lot of people coming out and playing. We'd come out there on a Sunday. I seen upwards towards 50 people on just dropping in on Sunday to play.
That's awesome.
And all the members there, you know, everything that the field has, their compressors for their 4,500 PSI, their 3,000 PSI, all the funds and everything for that were donated by its members that showed up to play every week.
Nice.
So the club really doesn't have any kind of income, and it continues to be that way to this day. But after a couple of years, I got together with a couple guys. We formed an administration of about 5 or 6 of us, and we wanted to be a little more organized. We had a bit of a name of being an outlaw paintball group, and we wanted to take that stigma away, because really we were playing on private property. We weren't going out and playing illegally on Crown land and stuff like that. So we wanted to take that stigma away. And so, you know, we also wanted to, because we knew that, and it happens in paintball, is people play for a couple of years and life takes over. They, you know, work, whatever the case may be, and people stop playing. And I knew that we had to start bringing people in the front door when people were going out the back door. Otherwise, the numbers would start to dwindle. And it was important for the sport as well as our club to keep those numbers up. So we got rid of the idea of the invite idea. And now basically, if you want to play Blackwatch, it's just by request, and
Nice.
and it's been really difficult because Blackwatch being on private property and being non-commercial, we couldn't have people just dropping in there, and because the guy that owns the property lives on the property. So it was difficult, like putting the location and the address out there. We kind of kept that quiet. So it was really hard to grow the numbers in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did is we, tried a few different things out on Facebook. We created a couple new pages. We created a Blackwatch guests page for people who wanted to get out into the field and start playing. And when they were interested in showing the enthusiasm and the commitment that they were going to come out, then we put the address out there. So we kind of kept that secret. And we've grew to a membership. We got a roster of about 135 players, maybe a few more than that now. And so it's grown quite substantially. And last year, one of the fellas he owns Frontline Paintball here in Surrey is Matt Jancy. And him and another company he owns, bcpaintball.com, they hold a 4-part scenario series every year. 4 years ago, I think it was a Tipman Challenge they had out here. And so every year they have that scenario. And it's held at different fields throughout the lower mainland, ambush paintball, Kamloops. Panther used to be one of them. With management change and stuff at Panther, he started to look for another field. And I was talking to Matt one day, it was, he was threw a couple names out there to a couple fields he was looking to consider. And I was like, it'd be nice to have a scenario at Blackwatch, eh? And he says, well, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, whoa. He says, that was kind of rhetorical. I wasn't looking for a response there, and
That's how the best ideas always happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. It's like we've been known to have one of the nicest fields in the lower mainland. It's just like parkland. It's very well kept, and because it's not commercial, it doesn't have drop-ins and people in the garbage everywhere. It's very well kept. Anyways, I said to him, I said, look, I don't know if this is going to fly. I says, this is a field for the members, by the members, and we are pretty protective of our field and who plays there. And, it's so, I said, well, you know what? I'll go ask Dennis and see what he says. Can't hurt to ask. So I asked Dennis, and he said, well, sure. Well, you never know until you try, right? And I was taken back from that because, again, being pretty protective of the field and never ever thought of doing something like this before. We just couldn't imagine having 150 people on that field. Like I said, the most we ever had there before was probably about 50 people or a few more.
Pretty good.
So he come out in the middle of winter one time, and he took a walk through there, and Matt got halfway through the field, and he says, I love it. I want 2 dates like this. And he said it reminded him of Tawasin Paintball, and he used to run Tawasin Paintball. And I was like, okay, now the next thing I'm thinking is, how are the members going to react to this?
Yeah.
They're going to be pretty protective of it, and they're thinking, oh, we don't want to lose this place. We worked hard to have this beautiful field, and what if people start complaining about the traffic and all this? And, it's like, again, Dennis's call, he said, let's try it. So, last year we tried it. In our first event, we managed to get the netting up across the field for safety, and and we put 130 people on the field, and it was fantastic. People on Facebook land and all the pages just raved about this field, and so we're pretty proud, eh? It turned out to be quite an accomplishment, and with the smoke and everything last year from the forest fires out in Kamloops, it got canceled.
Oh.
Well, we ended up with 3 dates, and we did all 3 dates last year, so it was pretty cool. It put Blackwatch on the map, eh? And you know.
Oh, we seem to be having difficulties here.
No, oh, there we go.
There we go.
I was worried for a second.
Many applications running in the background. Maybe I'm talking too fast. But yeah, you know, like it's been pretty cool, and like I said, you know, with the addition of the jerseys, we just between myself and a few of the administrators, Mark Neufeld and Shane Cortash and Nick Banis and Blake Bouchane, you know, a few of us, we just worked really hard to build this field, and we'd get together on the weekends and just start bunker building, right? And that was it,
Nice.
right? So
That's one of the joys of it, is just being able to say we built this for the people and they came, right? To be able to say we can take absolute pride in this, and that is what I love about this entire thing. Like the fact that it's relatively new to public access, and just how loving everything is about it. Like how people are they're willing to pitch in, they're willing to come out and help with stuff.
Well, I tell you, sometimes it's like pulling teeth getting people to come out and help. It's usually the same 5 or 6 guys all the time, and you know, I understand it to a point. You know, people get busy. Not everybody's got the time to put the time and energy out there, but there's a few of us that do, and it's a labor of love, right? You know, I'm sure you guys can understand that, and you've probably spoke to many guys in that position. So
yeah, it seems like just about anybody with a field, or really any kind of group, there's always that core set of people that are there every time you say we need something done, and then there's about 98% more people that show up when the work is done and it's time to play a game. So
yeah, it is unfortunate that is something that happens. I experienced that when I started my team way back when with one of our wonderful fields that Dave and I know quite well, and one of our stipulations was keeping the player area nice and clean in the summertime. And you know what? I would cart my lawnmower in the back of my little dinky car out there with a weed whacker, and I'd go to town for 4 hours. The rest would show up after I'm done the work.
Yeah. Well, you know, that happens too, right? So when sometimes we get those windstorms out here and the field gets just littered with branches and whatnot, and we give the guys a heads up that, you know, we're going to need a bit of a field cleanup before we play, and everybody pitches in. People seem to understand that the faster we get it done, the faster we can go out and start shooting each other, right? So,
Exactly.
and they know that all that fallen branches are just new bunkers, anyways, right?
Exactly.
Beaver dams and whatnot.
So much more cover to go for.
I was listening to somebody else, and they were mentioning how at their local field they had, because of all of the heavy snow and whatnot, trees falling over and whatnot. And they were talking about, you know, it had actually flattened some bunkers.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it just replaced them.
Yeah.
It
made new ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you went from a couple of small bunkers to one big bunker.
Oh yeah, exactly. Even you make use of that stuff. We had a huge tree fall, and we made use of it. We built onto this big huge tree that's there. We didn't bother moving it, and it's one of these ones where the roots come up and everything. So it's this big huge wall of roots.
Nice.
So, you know, you can use it. You can actually get right on top of this thing and use the roots and, you know, peer over the. It works pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've used tree roots actually out in BC there. A few years back, I was at the uh, Operation Overlord.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah, running around out through there. And
I think that's coming up again, isn't it?
I believe so. I've only ever
It
made it to 1 year, but
yeah,
it
I
was...
believe it's coming up the first of next month.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it is.
Yeah, I believe it's at a different location than it used to be, if I remember correct.
Yeah,
It used to
haven't
be...
heard much more.
Yeah, it used to be held out near Greenwood. And, yeah, I guess that place isn't hosting it anymore, but it sounds very similar to what you guys have got up and running, where it's on private property. So
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like I was saying about the private property thing, it's tough. Like when the scenario was out there, the address is out there, and it hasn't created much of an issue. We were worried about, oh no, all these people are going to know where the place is. They're going to start dropping in expecting to play paintball on any given day, and that's not going to happen. But it just took an announcement. Like, we have a PA system up. We have one of a fella, he's there with his vehicle, and he has the whole sound system playing blast music throughout the whole thing. So a lot of the announcements are done over PA, and we let the guys know that the place isn't open for business. It is private and non-commercial, but and everybody respects it. Like, I mean, the amount of, after these events that we've had, the amount of people that have requested ads onto our Facebook pages has been pretty crazy. And
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
It's great to see something grow. That's what we like to see.
Yeah. It never ends though. Like, I mean, we still gotta like, our field may seem to be finished with the construction and the way we want it. We might have to put up a little bit more netting, but the work with trying to get players out there, that'll never end. We have to keep, most of our guys throughout the wintertime, we try not to use our field when it's really wet. Keep it in nice condition. Owner is thinking of safety when it comes down to that too. So we visit, a lot of us, we'll go groups of 20 of us over to the other local fields, and people see the jerseys and they go, "Who's Blackwatch? Where's that?" And, and the people that know, they just want to get out and play. And, so I don't I don't steal people from other fields. I'm going to say that right now. But, we let them know. We let them know it's there. And if they're interested in playing, by all means, contact me on Facebook. Come on out and play. We charge $10 and it's bring your own paint. Like, I mean, that's yeah. Like, awesome. I mean, that's pretty attractive to any paintballer. Bring their own paint. But the thing about that is we don't want to take these people away from these commercial fields that rely on the players to purchase paint to keep their fields going. Mm-hmm. So we've built up a good relationship with the fields in this area, and they help us out. They if we need anything, and they try to do what they can. They give us a bit of a paint discount. So we come out. We'll bring 20 guys out there, and Tom Palmer, Joe Simpson out at Team Omega and Central Island Paintball in Nanaimo just had their Island United last weekend. And a crew of us went out there on the ferry, and I tell you, wow, what an event. And I tell you, the thing with Blackwatch is, I mean, when we show up to an event, they let people know. They know we're coming, so it's pretty cool, I guess I am tooting my own horn. It's
that's fully allowed here.
Good. It's pretty good. It's cool to get the recognition, I got to pinch myself sometimes, Yeah,
we got to that point today where we had to pinch ourselves. Dave messaged me. He's like, "So we're at 100 likes." I'm like, "What? Really?" And then later on today, he's like, "Yeah, we're at like 106." I'm like, "Am I awake? Like, holy arm hair here!" Like it hitting those little milestones, like hitting the 5-year for you guys, hitting us for we're not even a year, but we've hit 100+ likes. Like it's those little things that just it keeps us going. It gives us hope for what our dreams are.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it just and then you're gonna look back years down the road and go, holy shit, remember that? Remember we were just a bunch of guys running around with Tipmans and we had nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love the sound of the whole invite-only private property field. It almost reminds me of like the old 1930s speakeasy where you had to go to the unmarked door and knock 3 times. And that just sounds like the ultimate game.
Yeah, well, you know, invite only. It worked, but you know, there was always people out there going, "Where is this place?" And oh, you need to be invited. And it's like people wanted to play there. We don't want to turn anybody away, right? We don't want to turn anybody away. We got this incredible field. We want to share it with as many people as we can. And the chances are, if you go to that field and play it, you're going to be back.
Yeah,
because everybody loves it, eh? So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, that everybody in the comment section, as soon as it came up, was like, road trip, I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm totally down.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely down.
Yeah.
Let me rent a few airsoft events. I'll get my my little arsenal there, and we'll load everyone in the back of Dave's truck, and we'll get Heather and Grat from Grand Prairie to come down, and we'll make a shindig out of it.
Yeah. Remember, I only have the little truck now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You know me, just use me as a hood ornament.
Yeah.
You might not be able to see over me, but Heather says she'll pick us all up on the way down. Yes!
I don't have no cat windows open here. Okay. All right, on.
You'll have a whole group of Albertans invading the field, and we'll just bring shenanigans. That's what we do.
Yeah.
As long as we're invited.
Yeah, as long as we're invited. So we all have to be on good behavior and say pretty please.
Yeah. I know I've wanted to get out to Alberta too, you know, and I got a couple buddies that live out there. They've been out here and played our field, and you know, you probably even know a couple of them, but it's gotten so busy. It's gotten so busy here. My time is consumed by this club, eh? So, I mean, but
we know the feeling.
Yeah, you know, I want to get out to Alberta. You know, I'd love to get out to Ontario and play with Saga Beach at their big event there.
Oh, that would be awesome.
You know, I'd love
that's
to
on my bucket list of Canadian places to hit.
Yeah. You know, I grew up back there in Ontario, Toronto area, and when I was going to school, you know, all the kids, when they were going away for May long weekend, that's where they all went. It was Saga Beach, right? You know, so I had no idea they had such a big facility out there now. So, yeah,
I believe they are one of the biggest fields in Canada.
Yeah.
Nice.
And every year they put on killer events.
Yeah.
I would love to maybe one day have them on the show and just let everyone out west who doesn't know about Wasaga Beach know what they do. Yeah. And then who knows, maybe there'll be a western invasion. We can have an east versus west, and hopefully the west wins.
Well, the event that's going on near it's this big one that's going on soon is near Ottawa, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and so a bunch of our guys are going out there that are part of the Metro Vancouver MagFed group. They play with a group called Reaper Squad, which is you've probably talked to Josh Stratt already from Tactical Mafia. Oh, he's laughing.
I know Reaper Squad very, very well. I follow a lot of the more amusing and interesting groups out of the East, and they're one of the groups. Absolutely.
They're an awesome bunch of guys, you know, and Sean Velasco with Reaper Squad. He's the guy that designed that, our logo.
Nice.
He designed that. So we put our heads together one day. I was like, we need a logo, right? And we don't want a stick man holding a paintball gun anymore. Like we want something that jumps out, that looks professional, and that's what he does. That's his
really nice job.
line of work.
It looks really awesome.
He anyway, yeah, you know, I said to him when we were putting our heads together, I said, you know, we need this logo, and we want to order some jerseys from Anthrax, and it's got to be something that says aggressiveness, right? And well, Dennis that owns the field, he has a shepherd, and the shepherd is like a mascot or like a field staple, like the dog, right? And she's far from aggressive. she's pretty sweet, but you know, we just browsed through the internet and looking at photos, and I threw a couple his way, and that's what he came back with. Was that the shepherd?
It's awesome.
I think it spoke to about what Blackwatch is. That's what we're looking for. Nice. You know, aggressiveness, and I don't know if you've seen like any one of these scenarios. We could have a scenario of 130 players, which is, you know, basically, you know, you're 65 people a team. You can bet that 35 of them are Blackwatchers on the one side. So, and we play together every weekend, so we know each other, and we know. We play every event. We all play about 5 events a year together. So, you know, and there's a lot of teams out there like that. So we've gotten the name as being pretty aggressive, and that's what we wanted, right? Yeah.
I think we might need to get you guys out to shooting for a cause. That could be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, Chris. What do you think? What do you think, Keach? Should we get Blackwatch to join you boys? Get more BC boys out here? I know you're watching, Keach.
He was commenting a moment ago there, so...
Yeah, he commented just like a minute ago. Come on, Chris. Heather says that guys are almost exactly like what SAS Western Canada is when we get together. When there's a lot of SAS together, we have fun, but we play hard. And that's exactly what it sounds like you guys are. Yeah. You guys are basically BC's big team. You're their fun-loving, go out and play hard.
Very tight brotherhood, eh? Yeah, close-knit guys that just we just really, you know, you guys can probably relate though. After an event, there's that group of Blackwatchers that just can't go home. The wives are calling, go home, and everybody's sitting around having a beer, and it's like, and the adrenaline's going so much, you just can't shut your mouth for a minute. Hey?
Yeah, that's like us on the drive home. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, typically.
Unless I'm passed out in the passenger seat.
Yeah, either that.
Oh my gosh!
I wish I could see this chat though. I'm not seeing no chat.
It's up on it's on the Facebook. If you go onto the Facebook and then you watch the live video, but you have the volume muted, you can actually see a chat screen.
Yeah, you get all the comments down the side there. It's
oh yeah, okay, I got it.
There we are.
Yay! So Chadwick is saying September 30th is the final scenario event. Should be about 150 to 200 people. Yeah. Pencil it in. Well, Chadwick, if I'm in Canada at that point in time, or if I'm not working for the fire department here in Calgary at that point in time, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because unfortunately, once I get on with the Calgary Fire Department, I have 1 year where I cannot take any vacation days. So it's going to be 2 days on, 2 nights, 4 off. So if it falls on my 4 off, I'm there. Totally there.
Right on.
If not, Spartan and I will send our best regards to you.
Yeah, I know. You guys will send me selfies. Hey, look at us! I'll be like, you jackasses. But then I'll pull someone from a burning building and I'll get a good feeling from that and be like, ha, it was worth it.
Yeah, Chadwick there, he's one of the guys that came with us out to Island United on the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's one of our Blackwatchers. I'd expect to see a few more Blackwatchers on there. I'm going to have to start waving the finger and giving the hairy eyeball on Sunday.
Start giving them all heck.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Chadwick's rounding them up now because they don't want to get into too much trouble by the boss.
No bosses, eh? No bosses, man. No way.
Oh, that makes it more amusing then.
No bosses, eh?
Hear that, Heather?
If you can't learn to laugh at yourself, man, it's yeah. I take a lot of shit from these guys sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be able to give it as good as you get it, though. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, believe me, we got guys that are there to accept it. They're gluttons for punishment.
Yeah.
A few of these guys. We got this guy that comes out and he plays in flip flops, eh? Yeah, sandals, eh? Miles.
Oh my God, Heather, I'm gonna have to try
Miles,
that.
had to throw your name out there, Miles. You're probably not watching though.
Well, you can watch the replay later.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You don't want him in the bunker behind you. Trust me, man. It's like, what the?
Doesn't know what's going on.
My own player shot me. Yeah.
Always got to have one of those guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. There's always one-on-one team.
Yeah. If it happens too many times, you got to get him off the field, though.
Yeah.
I've had to do that. We had a guy come out. He was relatively new, and he kept shooting out his own team, and I said that guy's got to go. So I went in and took him out. Right.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah. Oh, you're on my team. Well, so are all these guys here. You know.
So are the guys you're shooting in the back, yeah.
Yeah. You get that with some of the kids though too. They just and it's something that moves. Who's your fucking guy?
Yep.
Something's moving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever happens.
So before we went live here, you two actually started in on a conversation about.
Wasn't you?
Hmm?
It wasn't about you.
Oh, no, it wasn't about me.
About the Metro Vancouver MegFed only group.
That would be the one.
How did you get into that?
That sounded like there was a good story there.
It wasn't easy. It cost me a few $100.
I feel honored then. I got invited in right away.
Yeah, when you own a MagFed gun, I didn't.
True.
That would make it a little more difficult.
Yeah, that is very true. I have to say the amount of active members on that on that group is quite something different, and they're always planning different events. They're always trying to organize stuff. They're always trying to, barbecues, that kind of thing. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, their focus is on growing MagFed. They want to see the MagFed portion of paintball increase, and they're doing everything they can to do that. Those guys are running out of Panther paintball right now. They got run of that field. And
oh, okay.
Basically, you've heard of Panther, correct? It's the oldest paintball field in BC, right? And it goes back to the 80s. But I think it's about 26 acres. They got run of that place. And, there's a lot of guys, man, I'm going down the road here that can open up a whole other topic here. There's a lot of people out there that want to play with the MagFed guys. And when they ask, the question is, do you have a MagFed gun? And it's, no, I got pump. And it's like, no, sorry. And they're going, well, why? It's still, I got to pump one shot. And I was the same way. I shoot a T2 every weekend.
Yeah.
And until I actually went out, I bought an M17 CQC and went out and played with these guys. It was like, now I know. Now I get it. It isn't about the volume of paint. It was the whole mechanics of it.
Yeah.
It was something, I've tried to find out what is the problem with it. I couldn't find answers for a long time as to why these guys really just want to keep it strictly to mag fed. They wanted to keep it pure. And I just couldn't understand it. I figured, geez, I'm running around with a 50-round hopper. I'd be lucky to shoot a half a bag of paint in a day. What's the big deal? But now I get it. I get it. There's something to be said between shooting a CCM T2 and then shooting something that is 3.5 feet long where you can't really get in tight behind a bunker with it. Yeah, I get it now. I get it. That's, and big respect, huge respect. I know what those guys, I played with them. I got my ass shot off. So the tables got turned, So.
Yeah, it's, and Heather points out there is very big difference between mag-fed and pump. And everyone knows the difference between mag-fed and speedball. Everyone knows it.
That's easy.
But the difference... Absolutely, but you know what I mean? Most of your pump markers, 1 to 2 feet. Most of your mag feds are 36 plus inches long. Like you have a look at the Karma Tech, like the SAR 12. That's like a 4.5, 5 foot long gun.
44 inches.
No, close enough. So 4 foot. Come on.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
But I know.
And like I understand the difference in the mechanics. But there's also a tactical aspect that is missing when it comes to going out and just playing a limited paint game at Blackwatch. Basically, all you're doing is looking to flank. That's all you're doing, flank. Take out the guy, fill the spot, push ahead. And, the communication, hell, guys like to communicate on the field. I don't want anybody talking to me. It gives my position away. I like to be quiet and I like to be unseen. But the guys playing MagFed, the communication is unbelievable. Like half those guys with Metro MagFed, they play with throat mics and whatnot, and they're serious ballers, eh? There's no two ways about it. When those guys, Blackwatch at these scenarios is blue. We're blue team.
Okay.
Those guys are all Blackwatch members, but they're also Reaper Squad. So, and I think that's their number one group is Reaper Squad, and they play red. And if those guys aren't playing at that scenario, that could be the difference between red team winning or losing if they're not there. And it happened last year. Second event, they must have been off at another event. A lot of them didn't show up, and they didn't win. Red team lost that game, but I'm quite sure if there had been 20 of those Reapers out there, it would have created a big problem for us, eh? And it's our home field, right? And they know it too. So,
and knowing your field is part of the battle. Knowing your opponents is the other part. Knowing how they're going to think on the field.
Yeah.
And that's what makes paintball so much fun. Like, you can have two different groups, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If you know, like, the style you play. Like, we've seen it where mostly MegFed team has owned a mostly speedball team. Yeah. But that's also because, it's generally the first game, or we know the field a little bit better than most of the other players on the other team. So we know how to get into those firing lanes that allow us to make the shots that we need for our limited ammo.
Yeah.
It also helps when you work well with someone. Like if you're saying, cover me, I'm reloading, you'll have 5 or 6 guys, watch your 6.
Yeah. 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 Oh, for sure. And there's that guy that's sitting way back out of sight that's shooting first strike rounds out of his R12. So that's the guy you gotta watch out for too.
Yeah.
So
I've got my little commando, yay big, about 2 feet, but I can sit back and lob some first strikes quite accurately. So I'll sit back still. And Heather knows this quite well after, yelling at me, Harkus, don't do this, Harkus, move up, Harkus, go there, I need you to do this, and having me play on the opposite side of them. I'm not afraid to sit back and lob, but I'm not afraid to get up front and get my feet dirty.
Yeah,
Part of what makes
I'm just reading the comments again now.
I think we all stopped to read the comments at the same moment.
Everyone is talking about the SAR 12, and here I am. I'll be like, la 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 la, I've got a 5-pound gun. La 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 la. And yes, you do, Heather. You do yell a lot.
Yeah.
Mostly at me.
Well, it'd help if you'd listen.
Well,
To somebody.
hey.
Anybody.
I listened to my body. The second game, all I did was roll around, okay?
Yeah, left many event hardly being able to talk. Squeak.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, for
No.
sure. Oh, they've had me as blue team general for the last couple events, and I don't know if my voice can handle that.
Well,
Whatever.
I don't know what I'm like as a general because the game I was supposed to general got canceled due to very low people interest.
I
in it.
apologize for that.
Sorry, Chris, and everyone else who's going to come
Yeah.
out. There will be another game where I am general at some point in time, I hope.
I will
crossed.
get it up and running. I will get that game up and running. It's Oh, it looks like your friend Miles is back.
Miles showed up. He says death to blue.
That's the blue, yeah.
But yeah, on the topic
All
of...
we have to do is put him on blue team, and it's Death to Blue.
So,
Miles a good guy. We love him. We love him. He's a good guy.
You're always needed, Heather. You know that.
Yeah.
SAS doesn't run without you in general. We don't run very well.
Yeah.
and then there's people like me. I just don't run at all.
Right on.
When what happens, Chris? I'm lost.
Yeah.
I think when our game happens.
Oh,
So when Shadow Strike does eventually get up and running, which I'm going to be putting more work in on that here soon and looking at a rescheduled date. So
sounds good with your name on him.
I recognize Chris's name there. Where's Chris from?
Camrose,
BC.
Kamloops.
Thank you.
Kamloops.
Cam something.
So he plays at Kamloops Paintball Field with the big Jerry Doucette. Yeah.
Yeah, Camrose is
that's a
Alberta.
nice field. Kamloops Paintball Field.
No.
That is a nice field. Might be a little closer for you.
Sorry,
guys.
it's Cranbrook.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Chris.
Wow.
I'm horrible.
Yeah. I apologize. We
Hey,
are geographically challenged.
Hey,
tonight.
something or see something, something.
Yeah.
I knew it started with a
Jordan's on
C.
there. I see Jordan's on there. He's my Alberta buddy that's been to the field, Jordan Levine.
Nice.
Oh yeah, he was saying that he got put over in that area for vacay one day
Yeah.
or one point.
Well, the Vancouver Zoo is basically about 3 miles down the road, so he dropped the wife and the kid off and came to our field to play paintball.
That's
I
awesome.
like the way that works out.
Yeah. Have fun, dear. You know. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good
Heather would like to know if you know Kevin Sherbane out of Kamloops.
Yes. Not well. I know him from online, and I've probably shot him a couple times on the field, and vice versa, right? But yeah, for sure.
So Chadwick says there's a June 24th scenario event in Kamloops.
That's right. Right.
Anyone out of BC who is watching, if you do know of event dates at other fields, feel free to inbox us with them so we can actually make like a list for everyone, because one thing that we are wanting to do with this is to basically spread the word about events in BC, Saskatchewan, and Alberta.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the Metro Mag Fed guys, I might as well put that out there. They have a limited paint scenario coming up. I believe it's is the 6th fall on Sunday? I think. I'll have to look at the calendar here. But they're doing a limited paint, and they are accepting other markers to come into play. So that's not a common thing. Yes, May 6th. So,
that's awesome.
they want to get other interests in there too, like they're not trying to alienate themselves from the rest of the paintball community. They put on a good event. I did one of their limited paint events there a couple summers ago, and it was good. It was really good playing at Panther. Like, I went out with Pump, but if I went this time May 6th, I'd probably go out as MagFed out of respect, Yeah, for sure.
Miles says he may have to break out his new pump.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if that should be put out there on public forum there, Miles. Oh, pump gun. Oh, okay.
There it is.
Yes. I was waiting for the jokes to start flying.
Oh, it's Miles, man. Him and I work in the same industry. We work on outdoor power equipment. So that's... Yeah,
that would do it.
Every field has equipment like generators and compressors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, that's how I built my rapport with a lot of the field owners in the areas, because that's what I do as a mechanic. And they have equipment. They're going, oh yeah, you fix chainsaws, you fix blowers, you fix this, that, and I do it. And they said, well. The next thing I know, my truck is full of stuff and my garage is full. Yeah. But it's cool, Yeah.
Roman, can't remember what marker you were using for MagFed. Can you just... Heather believes it was the M17 CQC.
Oh, CQC. Yeah.
It is the CQC. Okay.
Yeah.
Good memory, Heather.
Uh-oh. I just lost my... There we go.
And Miles says he's going to rock his pump in his flip-flops.
In his flip-flops.
I would so be afraid of tripping over something or shooting myself in the foot.
I think that'd be absolutely amusing as hell. Just walk up, say, hey guys, I'm here for the game. Be wearing flip-flops. No one will take you seriously.
Nobody takes us seriously anyway.
True. Everyone looks at my long flowing locks and goes, what a loser.
Yeah,
yeah, the locks, that's what does it.
This is just starting to get vicious now. Hey, at least I can run.
Yeah.
It's not that I can't.
Miles can get away with wearing flip-flops because he likes to play back. And that's fine. We always need a guy to stay back. So he doesn't do a lot of running. He's fine. He's the guy when you go to take the flag to the opposing end's spawn. He's going to be one of the guys that's hanging around. His ass will be sticking out, but he'll be the one that's hanging around. You gotta watch that if he hasn't been shot out, he'll be there. So you got to be careful. We got a couple guys like that. They don't do a lot of running, So they'll just hang back and wait. So
apparently, I'm getting a hair bow.
Heather, please tell me his is going to be pink to match yours.
Hair bow.
Oh my god. Oh no.
We might start a new paintball trend with that.
No, Heather started that trend. Heather wears pink on the field. You can tell her apart from everyone because she wears a big pink bow. So Now I'm going to be wearing pink bows, and apparently Serena says I should have 2 for pigtails.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Heather, if you bring it down, I'll wear it. But you have to deliver it in person. There's the stipulation.
You know you're going to end up seeing her at some point.
And that's why I'm saying she's got to come down to give it to me so I can see her.
Okay.
Because I don't know when I'm going to see Heather.
Oh
my god, pink or pinker. Oh no. Oh well, I'll wear it proudly.
When I was talking about the limited paint event Bay 6, I did mention that was Metro Vancouver, right? Metro Vancouver MagFed. It's a Tactical Mafia sponsored event, right, through Josh. So
nice.
Yeah.
I think we've actually got Tactical Mafia coming up in one of our future episodes. I don't know if we've locked them in yet.
I don't know if I've put out an event for that one yet. So
you got to get Josh on. You got to get Josh on for sure. I'll watch.
We'll make sure we get Josh on. I want to get a couple more guys out of BC.
Yeah.
Probably get Chris on at some point in the future there too.
Yes.
Got to get Chris on so we
who?
can make fun of Kill Team.
Chris Keach. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So, there's a few guys that would be pretty cool to have on here. Yeah, I can think of a few guys, but time is everything too. You got to get the right guy, the right time.
Yes.
When we were on the island, we were just, we had Storm and Norman on our team, So he's apparently, from what I understand, and I haven't been playing as long, but he apparently shot the first paintball on Vancouver Island. So.
Yeah, I believe I heard the story of. Yeah, I think I heard the story of Storm and Norman when I was in Duncan way back in 2002.
Yeah.
That was the last time I was out in Vancouver Island. I wanted to try paintball that time, but my parents said no because it was a family vacation.
Yeah.
Go figure. 1 year later, let's start playing paintball.
Yeah. You could put Tom Palmer on here. I guess you haven't seen that name online.
No.
Can't say I know that one.
No? Read some posts on LMPB.
I'll have to look that one up.
He's a great guy. It's not to put Tom down or anything. He's really speaks of his opinion, man. If he says it's black, eh? So yeah, he can be a little controversial at times, right? But that's Tom. He's loud. He runs a team out there, the Supernaturals, and those guys, man, they're a good bunch of ballers, speed ballers, right? So yeah, there's a lot of big names out here, absolutely, right? Like from Norman Trotter to Chris that used to run Panther. What's the name of his field? Chadwick, help me out. What's the name of Chris Hamill's field in Kelowna now? He's going to bring it up. Is he still there? Are you still there, Chadwick? Anyways.
He was chatting a moment ago.
Yeah.
And our comment section got taken over by Dan's makeover.
Yeah, apparently. And your wife said to check again, but I swear I'm reading Knee for knee attire, not new. I don't know. I think I'm still recovering from my training trip.
You're still talking about your hair, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, apparently. And no, Roman, my dreads are not red. Come on. How are my dreads red?
I have no idea, but apparently they might be now.
All right.
You all fail. You got an F. Big F.
Heather says they can be made red.
Please don't. No. Those are my only ones that I've got now that I'm donating the other one. Please no. I'll make red dreads, but we're not dyeing those red. Hell no. Stars, Serena, and Heather to know. From my cold, dead hands. And Heather's going to say that can be arranged. I know it. Chadwick says, I am, but it's new. He can't remember.
Black Dragon.
There we go.
Black Dragon. It just came to me. I was looking it up and it came to me before I found it. Yeah. Yeah, so he's a guy, I believe he's the one that started Panther Paintball in Surrey. So he had that field for many, many moons.
Okay. I think Black Panther is probably on my list of places to go now, too.
Yeah, he's as old of a name in the sport as it gets, Chris Hamill, Norm Trotter, those guys. Matt Jancy, who runs Frontline Paintball and bcpaintball.com. These guys have been around and been doing it for a long, long time. So, me, it's, my very first paintball game was back in the mid-'80s out in Mississauga, Ontario for survival games.
Oh, wow.
I went out there and played a couple times, and I can't remember if they were Sheridan pumps or what we were playing with, but I remember being very hooked on it at the time, and I hadn't played over the years. I just started back into it like this would be the 5th year for me, right? But it's a buzz. The actual fields are there in the Lower Mainland.
I know a road trip is definitely needed. Heather would like to know how many actual fields are in the Lower Mainland.
Well, there is, I'll start off with ours, of course, which is non-commercial, however. But commercial fields we got in the Lower Mainland. There's Ambush Paintball, which is fairly local in Surrey. Panther, which actually houses the Metro Mag, Vancouver MagFed group, mostly. I don't know how much they're doing rentals these days. From what I understand, they don't even really supply paint anymore, but the airsoft community is huge in there. So I can't really say for sure. Any information that I gave out could be wrong. I don't know. Josh would be the guy to probably ask because he's on the field and doing all the building there.
Mm-hmm.
We got Richmond Indoor Paintball. There's Millionaire Paintball in Matsqui Village. There's Combat Zone, which is, I believe, White Rock. Another guy had a field out. Now we're not talking the Lower Mainland, but I know there's one in Whistler, and I know Jason, I can't remember his last name, had D99 Paintball Park in Squamish, which it took a year's hiatus due to leasing agreements.
Yeah.
They're back at it now. And then, there's Kamloops, obviously, which is partially run by Matt Jancy, and I guess Jerry Doucette runs the field out there because he lives out there. So, yes, that is the Jerry Doucette, the son of the Jerry Doucette, right? Mama, let him play. That guy from the song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, that's his
rings a bell.
boy out there. Don't ever ask him if hey, is that your dad? And you'll never get away from him. So, but, Kamloops is an amazing field. I can't think of any other real commercial fields. I know there was a group that used to play on Crown land that had a lease out in Coquitlam. It was the Westwood Paintball Group. I don't know if they do much out there anymore. I heard talk that they're trying to get up there and play again. And that is rough terrain. I played it once, and it's been tough for me to go back because it is really tough terrain. You got to be a young fella to go in there. It's on the side of a mountain, and it's heavy crochet. So, but
You have fun with that.
There's a few, And there's, like I said, the Chris Hamill's opened up out in Kelowna now, and he's got some old growth forest out there. Apparently, he's opening up. We're looking to go see that field soon, and he's got events in the works. So we'll know more about that as it comes to light. He'll be posting up about it.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So Heather's wondering. Well, she's not wondering. Delta Force
I didn't even mention it. She mentioned it.
Are they out there though in BC? Because I do know we have several facilities, I guess you could say, here in Alberta.
Yeah. I don't. Pretty tough for me to talk about, especially on a public video conference here. You know, like I mean,
Absolutely.
Enough said.
I'm sorry, but I just don't support them.
I know most of the community doesn't support them because of how they operate their facilities. Is there anything that you can tell us about fields on the island? Like how many fields there are, something like that?
Well, Tom Palmer has Central Island Paintball. There's a few groups that play out that way, and I'm sure one of them is, well, there's Central Island Paintball. They got a speedball field there too, where the Supernats play. Joe Simpson runs Team Omega, which is a club. It's kind of like a Blackwatch sister club. I'll say sister club, not brother club. Anyways, but no, they're very, very similar to Blackwatch. I believe they have a bit of an area that they play in. I think they use Central Island Paintball's facility a lot. There's another group of guys out there called Team Hellfire, which is basically our competition. They're always red, we're blue, so there's a lot of stuff going back and forth between us guys online all the time.
Friendly rivalry type
yeah,
stuff.
It's big time rivalry, but you know, it's fun rivalry too, eh? But that's Sean Bowman. He's got a little group out there. As far as commercial fields, I seem to think that the only one that I'm aware of is Central Island Paintball. I know there are others around. There might be one other one around, but I just don't know enough about it. Okay. There might be something like out towards Victoria. I just don't know.
Cheduk mentioned something about Bud Bowl, and then I think he might have called you a banana. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Apparently there's an inside joke there.
Yeah, there's got to be an inside joke.
You know, these guys, right, from Pepper Paintball and Team Hellfire, they got a they're missing a few marbles, trust me. They're pretty nuts.
We all are.
That's why we play this game.
Exactly.
I'd like to. I don't know if I can bring this up. I got to try.
If it's not PG appropriate, then that's quite okay.
No. It's a thing to do with this banana, and I don't know the entire story behind it, and what I do know isn't appropriate. I don't think.
Fair enough. Chidwick says there's Victoria Paintball Adventure.
There you go. Yeah, there is Victoria. Yeah, but this thing with the banana, you know, after our event on the weekend, there were some pictures that started floating around with Sean holding a banana with my name on it, and on the other side it said Blue Team on it. And he was elected the banana, and I found it in my gear bag after the game. Yeah, I had to take my whole gear bag in and get it cleaned, you know. Yeah.
Chedwick, you definitely helped with conversation.
Yeah.
But we are reaching that point where we should start winding down. It's definitely getting late out here.
Yeah.
We're almost at the 10:30 mark, and I think this is one of our longer episodes.
Yeah, we've hit about an hour and 5 minutes now, so
yeah.
So yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, Colin.
All right.
Absolutely.
It was a blast. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, see, told
what
you
have
it was
I got
nothing to worry
myself
about.
into? I did. I was thinking, what have I got myself into?
No, you did great. So
absolutely, you've
thanks
been a
again
good
for
sport,
joining
that's
us.
for sure.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I know.
guys. I appreciate it.
And from the sounds of it, it's not just us planning a road trip now. I think just about everybody that was listening at the beginning here was saying road trip. So
Hey, man.
Yeah, road trip.
Yeah, if anybody comes out to visit Blackwatch from Alberta, you just look for me, right? Look for me, or look for anybody with a Blackwatch jersey on, and let them know where.
We'll yell out "Banana Colin."
yeah.
Oh no! No! Don't be doing that.
And Chadwick, thank you very much for the compliment. You've been awesome, giving us some information as
Most
we've asked
definitely.
for it as well. And for everyone else who's stayed through the shenanigans for the last hour and a bit, thank you guys. And for those of you who have joined us almost every episode, Heather, you're one of them. Serena, thank you guys very much. And I think it's time to sign out.
Yeah, thanks to all
Hey, guys.
106 of you. Greatly
Yeah.
appreciated.
Right on. That was cool. Right on. Excellent. Thanks again, guys.
No problem. Thank you.